right, welcome back. We are out here with the Mojave's new gearing. I don't have the optimal area to run, not very much room, but we're gonna give it some test rips and see how it does. So we're gonna go track. It's tracking. We're gonna start its testing. 12 satellites now. There's not much distance here. This is a pretty small area, but I've been trying to run for a couple days, well, and it's not working. So we're just going to do a mild little test hit. And see how this gearing does. The braking usually suffers when you gear up this high. That was almost half trigger. I could see the front end floating. So we're gonna hit stop, read 62 miles an hour. Not really pushing it. You can see I've pretty much almost doubled. The speed since I've only gone half trigger. Track, start, testing. I'm gonna try to run off the other way, go the other diagonal. There looks like there's more runoff that way. I'm set up over there. I can run off into the dirt over there. That I can run off into the dirt, but then it's a curb. This one, at least if I crash, I only got a couple trees to avoid. So I'm going to try to pull this trigger a little harder, and I am on this still stock remote. Bunch of stuff came out. I saw it starting to lift and I pulled a little harder. I think one of the batteries came out, or probably both. We almost got to half trigger. Oh yeah, both batteries came out. And you could tell the battery tray pulled out. It's a common issue with these, especially when you're stacking up these kind of batteries. Probably got to about 60 again. Stop, read 63. There's a ton in it. I honestly need more room because I can't pull the trigger that hard. We're going to turn the GPS off. Okay. So I'm going to walk it back over to the car. But I definitely need more room. That's my biggest issue. It's not, there's a field here that's got plenty of room, but for the last month they've had they've had it closed off because they're doing a concert, which, you know, they did yesterday, and I'm sure there's probably another one tonight. We came yesterday, there was probably 5,000 people here. They have all these grass areas zoned off because they're parking cars on them. So I'll show you what the event looks like in the field. I've run on the field before, and then it looks like they're extending it. See, even with the loose center differential, it has enough. I'm probably going to have to shorten up these front springs just so it's not sitting so high, so that I can control the wheelies a little better. It's 105 degrees outside right now. So let me get this thing in here. Oh, I cracked it by the windshield. I'll go ahead and pop this lid. So it pulled the battery strap out. At least it didn't break the strap. Didn't break any of the wires. Motor's still cool. Broke the rear body mount again, which is a common thing on this. I believe I have new mounts for it. But we're gonna get it back on the bench, and we'll go through a little more, fix her up, and get it back out. During the week seems to be a better time to run here because of like I said, this concert going on. So we'll be back in a minute. A little windy, so here's the field. The field is pretty tore up, but the back side of the field over there has a runoff into the next field, so we can run along the back side. Except, as you see, there's a stage here, generators. They held a concert here. This was all full yesterday. So this is the field that I need to run in. It'll give me a little bit more room, especially when the porta potties aren't all there. Gives you some starting roll up. Then you can really nail it on the grass, and then you can have run out over by that pole. So just wanted to show you guys that. But it's been a month now. It's got signs here saying the field is closed, like the field we just ran on. All these fields have been closed off for parking. So we're going to get back to the bench. I'll see you guys there. All right, so we are back on the bench. We're going to fix the damage from today. A couple of things. It didn't break the holder. It pulled it out because the strap went ahead and let go. So I'm going to try to get this strap back in here without pulling the battery tray, hopefully. That brings me to a reality check. So you guys saw the performance first out, right? 61 or 62 mile an hour, I think, is where we were, something like that. And at that point, shows a lot of promise. So we geared up, went ahead and showed that we definitely have the power there to get it to the 100 mile an hour. The problem is that the stability, even with the center diff, diffing out as bad as it does, at a certain speed, you're going to deal with wind forces that in the off-road is pretty difficult to deal with. At that point, what do? Do you convert it strictly to a speed run build? Because I think that's what it's going to take to get it to, you know, the 100 mile an hour. It's going to have to lose a lot of its bashing characteristics to get it to the point where it will be stable on flat ground to do the 100 mile an hour. The nice thing is that you don't want to make, at least I don't want to make, changes that are irreversible. Once I get it to the 100 mile an hour, I'm probably going to change up this platform and get it closer to where it is about this point, just gearing it down a little bit. So with all that said, what do you guys think? And what would you do? Would you, is this a good platform to get to the 100 mile an hour? I know a lot of people have said the Italian, the Typhon, and here's the way I look at that. We have Kevin Talbert out there, a big YouTuber, a lot of resources, and he's been attempting the 100 mile an hour quest as well. With a few differences. He's using the Typhon, which the suspension I think is more suited for it. I don't believe the chassis is. I don't think the chassis is there. I think the longer platform, this platform being longer, is where it's at. About the length of the Limitless chassis, you know what I mean? And that's where I struggle, because I know the platform can do it. So knowing that the platform can do it, what's our biggest obstacle on this platform? The biggest obstacle on this platform for anyone going to be attempting these speed runs. Now somebody's already got, I think this platform, I think to 80 miles an hour, I think is where they went, close to it, something like that. And or it might have been 70. I don't remember. But with all that said, this thing is jammed in here. With all that stuff said, I truly feel with some aerodynamic changes, you see it's broke off, I think we can get it there. I honestly do. I pretty much don't have doubt that I can get this to 100 mile an hour. But I'm going to have to make a couple of body modifications, and I'm going to have to do definitely some suspension modifications. I don't want to lose a lot of travel. We are going to have to, I'm going to set the control arms to where they're level. I'm going to limit on how high it can go up, but not on how high it can go down, if that makes sense. So I don't want to limit it bottoming out at this point, because I just don't think at 100 mile an hour there's enough wind to stuff this thing into the ground with this spring rate. Here's the body mount part number. It's ARA 320544. It's a part, if you own this RC, that you should keep around. I know people put foams around some of this stuff to kind of cushion the impact. And that does help, but the mounts still do break. We have plenty of power. Most of these things do. We have the chassis length, which I love. Wheels and tires, I have a feeling somewhere around 80. We're gonna have to make a change to the wheel and tire package on this thing, which is fine because I already have a set of belted tires picked out for that. So my concern isn't the wheels and tires. My big concern at this point is going to be body changes. With the air right here that comes in through these gaps, when this thing gets up into a wheel stand like this, it's catching air from here. The windshield's trying to push down, and then any air that's coming up through the body, because that's another big factor. Right here, you have the guys that are sitting in here. So I think I'm going to end up removing the people on the inside of this thing. Because it seems like these vents here are only venting the air coming in through the windows and then coming out here, which I think that's okay. The windshield's helping a lot of that keep the front end down. But there's not much stopping the air from coming up through here and then parasailing this thing. So I really have to keep the nose down on this thing. I don't know if the body's going to be that big of an issue, but I might end up just taking the fake guys that are on the inside of that thing, and it sucks because I actually like that look of the guy sitting in there. But I know to get to the speed, if I don't run the body and if I run this thing open, it will get a lot higher speeds. Now the speed I saw at 80 miles an hour was an on-road setup. It wasn't off-road. It definitely was an on-road setup. So we know that at 80 miles an hour, it's pretty stable there. And that's without the body on. I think the guy got to somewhere in the 70s with a body on. Maybe about what I'm at, 60 something mile an hour. But I think the biggest challenge is going to be trying to manage the air, whether it's putting more downforce on the front of this thing, which I might end up doing. I might build a front splitter that comes down that grabs some air. Yes, it's going to slow it down, but it's going to keep it planted. But I think the first thing that we do is go ahead and lower the center of gravity a little bit. So that's what I'm going to work on, is lowering the center of gravity of this thing. I'm going to end up refilling the shocks with different shock fluid, a lot stiffer shock fluid. I do want to keep some travel in this because, like I said, we're trying to do this off-road. And that's where I feel the Typhon and the Italian suffer. Is that when you start hitting rocks and bumps on the front of the chassis, even if the wheels aren't hitting it, if just your chassis being low hits these dips, it causes it to throw it up. And as soon as it throws it up high enough on that shorter wheelbase, even Kevin extending his wheelbase is having an issue. So I don't honestly believe changing the platform is going to change anything. Just look at what you're doing and try to compensate and try to make adjustments for what you see. And what I'm seeing right now is that our suspension is definitely way too high. So I'm going to go ahead and make a suspension change, and that'll be in the next video. We're going to go ahead and pull off the shocks, front and rear, off this thing. And then we're going to make a huge suspension change. Differentials, including the center diff, that isn't even driving that hard, you see? That's a good thing. This is a good thing. You definitely don't want to lock up your differentials. If you're going to lock any differential, lock the front, leave everything else open. But I'm not the type of person that locks differentials, and we're going to get into that, why I build my Limitlesses the way I build them. And then hopefully we'll have an update on the green Limitless giveaway. He has already received it. He's had it for about a week now, going on a week. And he's I think he's got an unboxing or some video that he's coming out with. As soon as we get an update on that, I'll update you guys. But let's see where I'm at on this thing. There we go. So our body's back to normal. We just got to get it down. And I can't lower it too much because these tires are going to balloon and they're going to want to start rubbing on this body everywhere. So I don't really want to lower the rear. I just want to lower the front down so that we get this arch. So I'm going to stiffen up the back and we're going to get the front down. No bent chassis. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. We're going to make some suspension changes now. We're going to get back out. I'm probably going to change this front mount out as well because it is broken right over here as well. I'm probably going to go ahead and secure the body on a little stiffer right in here, just to support the body more on crashes, because we're going to have some crashes. And we'll just keep going from there. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.